Hello, investors. Welcome to another edition of 18 Minutes with 180 Markets. Friends, we know there are so many companies that are gold companies on the ASX. And it used to be that a rising tide would lift all ships. But within the gold sector, investors now are looking for those companies with stock-specific catalysts, projects, something in short that makes them truly unique. And that's why I'm so excited today to be joined by Tim Davidson, Managing Director of Meeka Gold, because Meeka has some of Western Australians' most exciting land and projects that are truly unique and that help the company control their own destiny. And here to talk all about it, hey Tim, welcome to 18 Minutes with 180 Markets.
Hi Greg, how you doing? Great to be here, mate.
Thanks a lot. Hey Tim, everybody's got a story and people invest in people. Can you just tell us in a couple of minutes about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. Look, my background's mining engineering. I spent a lot of time working in operations, so strong technical background, and most recently with Silver Lake Resources, running some of their Kalgoorlie assets, underground gold mines, and our key or flagship project, if you like, the Murchison Gold project, that came out of Silver Lake. So my relationships there, and understanding of their projects, it wasn't a key project for them, and it was an opportunity for us. So look, strong technical background, came out of operations, and really was put together the transaction that was the purchase of Murchison Gold operations, or the Murchison Gold project. And my mandate with the company, with Meeka Gold, is really to work towards getting that project back up and running and into production.
Hey Tim, that's great. Obviously, you have a huge background in gold and in this project. But before we get into the project, can you just tell us, given your experience in gold, what is your outlook for the metal? What do you see?
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. Look, the gold price drivers, or when you look at fundamentally from a macro perspective, what drives the gold price, it's risk sentiment to a certain extent, but also inflation and inflation expectations. And I think if you look at where inflation's at and where it's headed, I mean, we've got a very strong labour force participation rate, in Australia and more broadly in the US and globally at the moment. Unemployment here in Australia is 4.2%, so there's a very high demand for labour. And what we're starting to see, and this is data out of the ABS, is over the last sort of 10 years, we had wage inflation of around 4% in 2010, and that diminished or decreased down to about 1.5% as of 2021, and that has started to pick back up again. So as of September last year, we saw 2.2% in terms of wage price growth. We're starting to see the uptick in wage pressure, and that's obviously going to drive inflation. We're seeing transfer payments to individuals over the COVID period, benefits and the like, and people, what that delivered was record household savings, and people used that those funds to repair their personal balance sheets and pay down debt and certainly credit card debt and the like. So we see on top of the huge wage pressures that we see coming and that are already here, huge demand for labour. People's finances are somewhat in order, or certainly getting that way, and they've been locked up for a couple of years. So there's that pent up demand. People want to get out and spend and do things, and this is all evident, in the data. And then I think, finally, if you look at, more broadly, central banks and where they're at in terms of interest rates and inflation, they're well behind the curve. So we're seeing inflation picking up 6-7% across the globe, and inflation and interest rates central bank interest rates are pegged near zero. So that's an important perspective. And then finally, I think you need to look at where central bank and interest rates have been historically when we've entered into an inflationary period, and we've never had interest rates this low, and central banks have never started to lift interest rates from this low in history relative to where inflation's sitting. So they're very much behind the curve, and I think this is somewhat a deliberate thing by governments and a deliberate financial repression to reduce the real value of government debts and liabilities, and suppressing interest rates and letting inflation erode the value of that debt. Certainly, in real terms, is, it's not good for the individual. It erodes the value of their currency and their savings. And but putting all of that together, it's a fantastic condition and environment for gold. So we're very happy to be in the gold space, and certainly have some fantastic assets in that space.
Yeah, and just adding on to that, as I'm sure you're well aware, when you talk about wage growth, right now getting skilled workforces and lab prices and all the rest of it, it's certainly running a lot more than 3 or 4% per annum.
Absolutely. Look, there's certainly, and I think the travel restrictions that are still in place, trying to get people into Western Australia, consultants and various other skilled trades, very difficult. So it's all adding to that, yes, wage inflation, but more broadly, inflation across the board.
For sure, Tim. Hey, Tim, I want to get into Meeka specifically. Murchison, you're obviously incredibly familiar with the project. As you said, you really brought it there. It's 1 million+ ounces. Can you just tell us a little bit about the project, and also what are the big catalysts that we should be looking for, say, over the next 12 months out of Murchison?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're in a fantastic jurisdiction, Western Australia, long history of mining. The Murchison Goldfields, it's a prolific producing region. There's lots of multi-million ounce producers in that region. So with that, we get fantastic access to infrastructure. Our project is located on the main arterial, the main highway that runs through the region. And we've got large gold processing facilities to the north and to the south of us. So there is potentially that option to utilise those facilities instead of building our own plant, although we have indicated to investors in our initial scoping study that building our own plant and having more control over our operations is the way that we want to head. So fantastic jurisdiction, fantastic access to infrastructure. And really, we've been busy over the last 12 months since we acquired the project, furiously working away at exploration. So you mentioned we've got a large resource base, 1.1 million ounces, and we've been working. We completed our first pass exploration early last year and rolled straight into a phase 2, which is ongoing at the moment. That started in September, and we're still drilling. So really trying to grow that resource and add to the 1.1 million ounces that we've got in the ground, and really make the project bigger with regards to mineral inventory.
Yeah, and should we see that, say, as far as those drilling, you are drilling, with those results be coming out kind of in the first half of the calendar 2022?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've drilled in the order of 12 to 13,000 meters as we speak since September last year. There's about 7,000 drill meters worth of samples, either in the lab or in transit, or in the process of getting to the lab to get sampled or to get assayed. So look, there's plenty of information and news flow coming. Unfortunately, and we talked about the difficulty getting assays out of the lab. They're very busy.
For sure.
This industry is obviously booming over here. So there's a longer turnaround between putting the samples in and getting the results out. So look, plenty of samples to be returned, plenty of news flow to come, and that's going to be that'll be reported over the next 6 to 8 weeks as those results come in.
That's great. And also, you're working towards a pre-feasibility study, the PFS. Can you just talk to us a little bit about that and maybe about the timing of it?
Yeah, we released our scoping study in December of last year, and that was really the first step towards putting this asset back into production. It outlined a robust plan that delivered significant free cash flow to the company. At $2,400 gold price, it delivers about $180 million free cash, which is, if you look at the gold price today, we're sitting closer to $2,600 an ounce.
That's Aussie dollars for everyone.
That's
yes.
Aussie dollars, right? Yeah. So look, at $2,400, it delivers $180 million free cash. For every incremental $100 per ounce increase in the gold price, it adds about $40 million to the free cash flow that project delivers over the life. It's a very modest amount of capital to develop. We need about $50 million. So in terms of the money we put in versus the money we get out, it's a fantastic return. The all-in sustaining cost, we see that at around $1,650 an ounce. So similar to where the previous owners had it when they decided to put the mine on care and maintenance in 2017. So really the asset's been in production very recently. There's a lot of infrastructure there that we'll benefit from, and look, it's shaping up to be a really appealing production opportunity for us. And like I mentioned, with the extensive or the exploration work that we've got going on at the moment, we're certainly excited by what we're seeing with those results, and feel that there's potential to grow that production scenario with the drilling that we're doing.
Yeah, that's great. And also down the line, can you just talk to us a little bit about, what type of mining techniques and, in depth would you be going down potentially?
Yeah, so there's really two large resources at the Murchison Gold Project. There's the Andy Well mineral resource, which is about 500,000 ounces, very high grade, above 8 grams per tonne. That's an underground mining opportunity. So that's really providing that high grade base load. And then about 15 kilometres to the southeast of Andy Well, there's another deposit called Turnberry, slightly over 600,000 ounces, and that's never been mined before. So really, we're going into virgin ground. It's a fantastic opportunity for us. It's a significant resource in terms of strike, and we see it as having depth potential that really hasn't been drilled out. So we're a lot of the drilling we're doing at the moment is testing that deeper portion of the resource. But in terms of the mining, it's initially going to be an open pit. We'll follow that up with underground mining. So broadly, the project comprises one open pit, one very large open pit, 1.5 kilometres of strike, and two underground mines. So not a complex operation. It's not like we're going out and trying to mine 15 different pits. It's really two concentrated mining centres that deliver the production over the life of the project.
Great. And now, I guess maybe taking a turn away from Murchison, let's talk about Circle Valley. Because Circle Valley is your other project. It is really underexplored in the whole scheme of things, and it is getting the market very excited. Can you just tell us a little bit about maybe also just how did you get involved with this project?
Look, the project was pegged by Nick Castleton, who was one of the directors on the board of the business when I got involved with it. Really, it was a very early stage greenfield opportunity. The business saw a very prospective part of a block of land that wasn't currently pegged. They pegged the ground, and we did some early work that delivered some exciting results. So it's in the Albany-Fraser Mobile Belt, the same region as the Tropicana gold deposit. So it does host very large mineralized systems. And the first pass exploration that was done in 2019, it was a shallow auger program, and really the shallow transported cover at the project shouldn't host any gold mineralization. It should be completely devoid of gold. And what we found with that first pass exploration was a gold anomaly that was 1.8 kilometres long by 400 metres. 1.2 kilometres long by 400 metres wide. So a very, very large gold anomaly where there shouldn't be any gold. That was enough to get us a little bit excited, and given the greenfields nature and the very limited amount of shallow drilling that had been done there, we proceeded to commission an air core drilling program in mid last year, and again that delivered some really anomalous and exciting gold results that we weren't expecting. On the back of that, in January, we rolled straight into some follow-up exploration, an 8,000 or 7,000 metre air core program. And before we started that air core, we decided to go and drill beneath those anomalous results that we received in 2021. And what that delivered for us, about 2 weeks ago, we reported it now, it was 20 metre intercept at 4.66. So and that was exciting enough, but that was within a broader intercept of 36 metres at 2.7 grams per tonne. And this is all in greenfields country, that greenfields exploration tenure that really hasn't had focused and rigorous exploration work done on it previously. So really quite an exciting surprise for the company, and very appealing opportunity when you look at some of the large mineral systems in that region, and really the limited exploration that's been done on our tenure. It's a really exciting opportunity.
Yeah, it definitely. And so just to be clear, so for Circle Valley, do you have more results coming up in the next several months?
Yeah, so we've drilled about 7,000 meters of air core drilling. We've given the what we're seeing in the geology, not the assay results, but what the geology team's seeing on the ground. You know, we've extended that program beyond the 7,000 meters. It's likely to be closer to 8,500 to 9,000 meters of air core drilling. We're still waiting on the assay results for that drilling. We rushed through the samples for the 2 air core holes that we drilled. We want to get the 2 RC holes that we drilled. We rushed those samples through, and before we do any more deeper RC drilling, we want to get the air core results and understand them and put it in the context of the geophysics and the rest of the geology work that the team's putting together, and then really set ourselves up for the next round of drilling to go and test those targets. So look, it's a fantastic opportunity. It's a very large gold anomalism in an area that really shouldn't have that gold anomalism. We've demonstrated it's a big mineral system, you know, it's quite an exciting mineral system in terms of the width and the grade of the intercepts in those RC holes. And I think the other exciting thing that's really getting, you know, this is probably the thing that gets our team most excited, is a lot of the pathfinder elements that we see in our multi-element analysis at Circle Valley align with the pathfinders that they saw at Tropicana. So look, we, you know, no two ore bodies are exactly the same, but it's certainly, you know, it's got a lot of the hallmarks that are getting the geology team excited. So really great opportunity for us, and very much complementary to the work that we're doing in the Murchison and the project that we're developing up there.
Right. And so we should expect to see then for Circle Valley, depending on what the results come back in the next, call it a couple of months, would that determine your works program for the rest of calendar 2022?
Yeah, look, the team's heading, we've got a diamond drill in the Murchison at the moment that's drilling away. We're about to start air core and RC drilling at St. Anne's, and some follow-up drilling at Turnberry Central in late February. That's following up on the exciting results that we put out at the end of January, and actually some further results we put out this morning. So St. Anne's, we had some really shallow, exciting results there. 24 meters at 4.81, 36 meters at a gram, 20 meters at a gram, 8 meters at 2.66. And then this morning we put out again some shallow results, but 3.5 kilometers to the north at Turnberry, 16 meters at 6.7 grams, 29 meters at just under 2 grams, 21 meters at 2.28, and that's, you know, from 20 meters downhole. So you're talking about 15 meters below surface, so very shallow. So look, we're planning to go and follow up those drill results in the Murchison in late February, starting at St. Anne's and then going up to Turnberry. We will then go back, following that program, go back to Circle Valley and do a second round of drilling there. So, you know, if we're talking about sequencing, we're finishing off the air core program at Circle Valley now, going up to the Murchison, drilling in the Murchison, then going back to Circle Valley. So it's a lot to get your head around. There's a lot of balls in the air, but what that means for investors is that there's a significant amount of work and significant amount of news flow. And if the news flow looks anything like the results that we've put out this morning and over the last couple of weeks, it's certainly exciting times for the company.
Tim, we couldn't agree more. And it goes back to, you know, what I opened with about, it's really stock specific catalyst that we're looking for. And that's what you have on store really for the rest of 2022 and even going forward. Hey, Tim, unfortunately, we have to keep the interview short. Do you have any closing remarks for the audience for Meeka?
Yeah, look, thanks very much for your time, Greg. In terms of where the company's at, it's certainly a development company. We're working towards developing these Murchison gold assets, but it's shaping up as a very exciting exploration story, and not just in the Murchison, where we're drilling, you know, very, very thick, high-grade mineralization outside of the resource that potentially adds value to the mining studies we're doing, but also at Circle Valley, where it's completely untested greenfields exploration. We don't know how big it's going to be, and certainly, you know, the team's excited by the opportunity to get down there and test out a few theories.
Great, Tim. Thank you so much. We definitely look forward to seeing all the results and also welcoming you back maybe in a few months' time when we have some more stuff to talk about.
Excellent. Will do. Great. Thanks, Greg.
Bye-bye. Thank you for watching another presentation by 180 Markets. Don't forget, if you want access to thousands of ASX capital raises, head on over to 180markets.com.au, sign up, and get on board for our very next capital raise. Thanks for watching.